Now students, we have to go through the ozone depletion in stratosphere, right? In the previous lecture we are talking about what is greenhouse effect and what is global warming. Okay. Now ozone depletion in stratosphere. You will think that what is stratosphere exactly? Then we will discuss first of all what is the layers of the atmosphere. Like you see, particularly there is a earth crust, we can say, right? So that is why it is zero level, 0 kilometer we can say. Now from 0 to 16 kilometer, the particular atmospheric layer, it is called as what? That is called as troposphere. Troposphere, right? Now from 16 to 50 kilometers. The layer is called as what? That is called as stratosphere. And in the stratosphere particularly, if we are talking about from 16 to 30 kilometer is concerned, that is ozonosphere. Okay. Then after, okay, right now we don't have any use, but we will go through it. That up to 100 kilometers there is a mesosphere and then after thermosphere, right? That is the stratification of the atmosphere from ground level to 16 kilometer, that is troposphere. From 16 kilometers to the 50 kilometers, that is stratosphere. In the stratosphere from 16 to 30 there is ozone layer, that is ozonosphere. Then after from 50 to 100 kilometers there is a mesosphere, and then 100 kilometers onwards that is called as thermosphere or ionosphere. Now see, as far as ozone is concerned, ozone, the good ozone and bad ozone, you know, in the troposphere particularly, bad ozone, but over here good ozone. The ozone means O3, I can tell you, O3 is ozone, right? But the ozone which is available in this troposphere, that is bad ozone. If we will take it into breathing, that is harmful for our health. Okay, but if it is ozone is available into the ozonosphere, means in the stratosphere, that is good ozone. Why it good ozone? Because whatever the UV radiation which is available into the solar radiation is concerned, the UV rays which is absorbed by this good ozone, that is why we can say it's a good ozone. You know, the thickness of the ozone is measured by Dobson unit. In the atmosphere is measured by Dobson unit. You have to underline that, Dobson unit. Okay, the thickness of ozone which is measured by Dobson unit. Now particularly this ozone is absorbed what? The UV rays which is coming from the solar radiation, and as a result of this what happened? It will not reach up to the, we can say, earth. Now, as far as UV radiation is concerned, which is broken down the bonds which is available between the DNA as well as protein or nucleic acid, etc. So, if it is happened, in that case, what happened? It can cause mutation and other problems in our body. Particularly, what happened? How it is degraded the ozone layer. Now, I can tell you, the refrigerator and air conditioners particularly, it is release what? It is released release the freon. Freon is the particular substance. That freon is release the CFCs, is chlorofluorocarbons. Right, in the refrigerators and air conditioners, when it is degraded, it's released the freon substance. That freon substance is release what? Chlorofluorocarbon. Now, chlorofluorocarbon is released into the atmosphere and is converted into what? Chlorine. It's converted into what? Chlorine. That chlorine is released into the atmosphere and which is act as a catalyst for the degradation of ozone. Like you see, O2 is converted into O3. O3 is ozone, O2 is oxygen. 3O2 is converted into twice O3. But it's a reversible process. O3 can be, means ozone can be degraded into O2 with the help of chlorine. So that is why we can say chlorine is act as a catalyst. Okay, and that is why with the help of this chlorine is responsible for degradation of ozone. How it is happened? Textbook ma nathi, but I will give you the chemical reactions of it. Like you see, O3 plus Cl2. O3 means ozone plus Cl2 gives ClO, that is chlorine monoxide. Now ClO plus ClO, that is Cl2 plus O2. Okay, so we can say, see, initially Cl2 used theory pacho, it is reobtained at the end of the chemical reaction. That is why it is act as a catalyst, we can say. And in that case, ozone can be degraded into O2. O3 can be converted into O2. Okay, but O2 cannot be provide protection in the degradation of O3. And in that case, what happened? In that case, particularly, the ozone depletion can be happen. Okay, and if it is happen frequently, if the CFC, HFC kind of chlorofluorocarbon kind of substance is released in a more amount into the atmosphere, in that case what happened? The degradation can be taken place. See, somewhere around in 1980s, in the Antarctica, particularly in the Antarctica, the depletion of ozone is taken place maximum, and that is called as what? Ozone hole. See, South Antarctica chade, any under, there is not this much population, even living organism is not exist over there. Actually, in 1980s, the depletion of ozone was somewhere around 50%, 50, right? But there is no any kind of other side effects is happened. Because of why? There is no life as such into the South Antarctica. You know, in nearby South Pole of the earth, right? So that is why in the Antarctica there is no problem. But if only 5 to 10% of the ozone depletion will be taken place, where the living organism, where the human population is exist, right? In that case, what happened? In that case, it creates serious problems, like it's damage the DNA, it's create the mutation, right? It's damage the DNA, it's create the mutation, and as a result of this, what happened? I can tell you, that is skin cancer, skin aging, particularly how it is effect on the skin. Aging of the skin can be happen, then it's damage the skin also. The skin cancer can be possible because of the UV rays is not absorbed by this ozone because of ozone depletion is there. When it reaches to the earth surface and is exposed directly to the human being, in that case it can damage the skin cells, it can be induce the skin aging, it is also responsible for skin cancer. Okay, now particularly I can tell you that it is also effect on the cornea. Inflammation of cornea, it can damage the cornea, and in that case what happens? That is called a snow blindness. Cataract is also there because of the cornea gets damaged. Cornea એટલે તમને ખબર છે આપણે structure of the eye learn કરી ગયા હતા, બરાબર છે? And in that case what happened? In that case particularly આપણે જે આંખની અંદર આ જે ડોળાનો ભાગ કહેવાય છે અને cornea કહેવાય, right? And cornea is damaged, the inflammation of the cornea is there, then it is called snow blindness, right? Even cornea can be damaged as well as cataract can be happen. So such kind of effect is happened because of the ozone depletion. Okay, that you have to remember particularly. Now, particularly the ozone depletion substance which is harmful for us, it should be, the emission of such kind of substance should be reduced. In that case what happened? The world level summit for the reducing the ozone depletion substance has been arranged into which place? Into the Montreal, Canada. It is called a Montreal Protocol. It is called a what? Montreal Protocol. In particularly 1987, which is actually effective in 1989. Effective in 1989. The summit for the reducing the ozone depletion substance, in which that is in particularly into the 1987, but it is actually implemented into the 1989, and all over the world they have committed that we will reducing the substance like CFC, HFC, chlorofluorocarbon and freon manufacturing as well as uses of that particular. That is why if the CFC and HFC is not, we can say, released into the atmosphere, in that case we can reduce this ozone depletion phenomenon. Okay, so that is the, we can say, ozone depletion in the stratosphere. Ready? Now the next point is, આ જે ડાયાગ્રામ છે ને એ ડ્રો કરી લેજો, બરાબર છે? Because it's not given in your text, so that is why you have to do it. Now, degradation by the improper resources utilization and maintenance. Degradation by improper utilization and maintenance. Suppose, see, always pollutant cannot be damage the biodiversity or the atmosphere, right? It is not always pollutant can be cause the damage of it. But sometimes what happened? The improper utilization and maintenance of our natural resources can also cause the we can say desertification and all of this. Now what is the first? And that is the soil erosion and desertification. First of all, soil erosion and desertification. As far as soil erosion and desertification is concerned, you see that what is the reason that soil erosion can be taken place? That is over cultivation, first of all we can say. આપણે કોન્સ્ટન્ટ ઓવર કલ્ટિવેશનમાં કેવું હોય, સપોઝ તમે કોન્સ્ટન્ટ પલ્સીસ છે એને ગ્રો કરો તમારા ફાર્મમાં, તો શું થાય? The nitrogenous substance can be removed from that particular area because of its constant absorb the nitrogen from it. And if you will cultivate the cereals for a number of time, repeatedly number of time, in that case what happens? The phosphorus resources can be empty. So that is why in that case what happened? You have to change your cultivated crops. Like one time pulse, then second time cereals, again pulse and then cereals. In that case what happened? It will maintain its we can say fertility. You know, the fertility can be produced after some of the century. You know, it will take some century to formation of the layer of fertile layer of the soil. But because of our human activities can be destroyed. And one of the reason how it is destroyed, that is over cultivation, that we have discussed. Now overgrazing or unrestricted grazing. Grazing, but it is unrestricted grazing. Okay. Deforestation. Third reason is deforestation. If you will destroy the forest, in that case what happens? It is called a deforestation. Okay, even this can be damage our complete biodiversity area. Poor irrigation. You will think that poor irrigation means what? The less amount of the water, that is one of the reason. And second thing I can tell you, what happened? Suppose river or canal irrigation is the proper one, you see, for the farm. But if from well or tube well, તમારા ફાર્મની અંદર વેલ એટલે કૂવો કે હોય, એનું જે વોટર છે એને પંપ કરીને તમે પછી એનું ઇરિગેશન કરો, that is harmful. Because why? In the water of canal or in the water of river, there is not this much salt is there. But if particular from your well, એટલે તમારા કૂવામાંથી ઇરિગેટ કરી અને પછી તમે એને વોટર છે એનું ઇરિગેશન કરો છો આખા તમારા ફાર્મમાં, then that case what happened? It is called a poor irrigation. And whatever the salt is there into it, it will be at a surface on that area. And as a result of this, what happened? The chemical composition of your farm will be disturbed. And initially, arid patches, it's resulting what? Arid means dry. Arid patches is occurs of land is occurs. Okay, and ultimately it will not fit for the plant cultivation and it will be destroyed. Okay, so that is the reason that it's a soil erosion and desertification. You see, if the plant is not there, in that case what happens? Soil erosion by water, by air, it can be become rapid. Okay, and ultimately is converted into desert. So that is soil erosion and desertification. Now second thing I can tell you, waterlogging and soil salinity. Waterlogging and soil salinity. You see, the proper drainage system should be there in your farm, in your land, right? Proper drainage system. Suppose પાણીના નિકાલની આપણી પાસે ફેસિલિટીઝ ના હોય અને વોટર લોગ થતું હોય પર્ટિક્યુલર એરિયામાં, અધરવાઇઝ સ્લોપવાળી આપણી પાસે લેન્ડ હોય, તો ઇન ધેટ કેસ વોટ હેપન in a particular area of your farm, what happen, the water will be locked. When the water will be locked, there in that case what happen, whatever the salt is available in it, it will accumulate on the surface of the particular habitat, and as a result of this, the layer of salt that will be disturb the fertility of the particular soil, and ultimately is converted into desertification. If the salinity is so high, in that case it is not plant fit for the plant itself. So that is why we can say that is one of the example of improper utilization and maintenance of your natural resources. Okay, now third one is deforestation. Deforestation. As far as deforestation is concerned, in that case what happened? In the deforestations, the forest has been destroyed. You see, particularly our total forest of the earth, out of them 40% is lying into the tropical one, right? As far as temperate region is concerned, just 1% deforestation has been taken place. Okay, but if we are talking about the deforestation ratio is concerned into the India, which is green this much in the 20th century, we can say in the initial part of 20th century, the forest area of India was somewhere around 30%. You see, 30% forest area was that, and that is reduced within 100 years, and 21.54% right now the forest area covered, instead of 30, that is 21.54 right now in India particularly. Okay, then after, Indian government has decided a national forest policy. According to its national forest policy is concerned, they have done what? According to national forest policy, in the plain 33% of the forest area should be, and in the hilly mountain area the forest area should be how much? It should be 67%. That means what? એમાં એમ કહે છે કે સપોઝ પ્લેન મેદાનોવાળો એરિયા છે, પ્લેન એરિયા 33% ફોરેસ્ટ એરિયા શુડ બી, એટલે નોન એગ્રીકલ્ચર જે છે એની જે એમ કહેવાય કે પરમિશન છે, that will be granted if that particular plain area is consists more than 33% of the forest. In that case they will allow to permit the non-agriculture application of anybody. And if you are talking about the hilly area, in the mountain area, it should be 67% forest area should be, right? If it is more than 67% area is there, then there is no problem. But 67% એક વખત થઈ ગયા છે, પણ 67 થી ઓછું થવું જોઈએ નહીં. That is policy is given કે 33% area in plain and 67 in the hilly area, mountain area. Now how and why deforestation is occurs? Generally what happens, when the population has been increased, we require the forest land, we require the farmland. Okay, maximum cultivation should be required for that. When the maximum cultivation is there, for that they will destroy the forest, and the deforestation has taken place. In the northeastern India, what happened? slash and burn in the North India. Slash and burn એટલે કાપો અને બાળો. That kind of activity was taken place. Slash and burn agriculture was there. Okay, and that is called as what? It is called as zoom cultivation. Zoom cultivation. Right? Generally they have done what? First of all, they will cut the forest, that is why slash the forest, and then burn it. Now, whatever the remaining part, the ash of that particular burnt forest is concerned, that is utilized as a fertilizers. Some of the part will be, we can say, separate for the grazing, for the grass. They will cultivate grass over there, and it is grazing for the cattle, and remaining part is used in the agriculture. But actually what happened initially, it was that the reforestation has been taken place after some times. But if for a longer time it's been not reforested, in that case what happened? Ultimately it leads to deforestation, right? Otherwise within the particular period of time it should be. But somehow for a longer time it will not reforested, and as a result of this it's destroyed the entire particular area of the forest. Okay, that is called a deforestation. Now what is the causes of deforestation? Generally what happens, deforestation is concerned is increase the carbon dioxide level of the atmosphere. You know, in the greenhouse effect and global warming, it is carbon dioxide level have a significant role in it. So that is why it increases the CO2 level of the atmosphere. Not only that, it decreases the biomass of the of the community, and as a result of this, what happens? If the biomass is decreased, in that case, particularly the biodiversity can also be decreased. Okay, even the natural habitat of the organisms can be destroyed also, and because of deforestation, the desertification rate can be rapid. Okay, and the fertility of the soil can also be decreased. So that is the because of deforestation is caused. Now what is reforestation? See, reforestation means re-establish the forest area. Initially it was the process was there, but somehow it was stopped for some times, but now again it is happened that whatever the damaged forestation is there, we have to cultivate the plants in that particular area, and in that particular area we can reforestation can be taken place. So that is the reforestation. Now the last question of this chapter is concerned, that is a case study of the people's participants in the conservation of forest. Okay, that is the last point. Now as far as last point is concerned, see, in the Rajasthan Jodhpur in 1731, Jodhpur, okay, there is a case study is there. Now the king of that particular Jodhpur have stated that we have to build up the palace of the wooden palaces there. So that is why you bring the wood for that from the forest. એટલે એના જે મિનિસ્ટર્સ હતા એને કીધું કે go there and bring the wood from that particular forest. Now the local tribes which is there, which is protect that particular forest, which is Bishnoi people. The Bishnoi people, they are protected the forest. જ્યારે એના મિનિસ્ટર્સ જાય છે, એના જે સોલ્જર્સ જાય છે, they ask that particular Bishnoi people that we have to cut that particular trees because of king want to build up their palace. But they oppose them, particularly Amruta Devi Bishnoi, the particular lady has opposed them, and they hug that particular trees, and as a result of this, number of people is hug that particular trees, and they protest against the soldiers of that particular Jodhpur kings, and then they have attack on the particular we can say people of Bishnoi. Amruta Devi Bishnoi and somewhere around 363 people have been died because of the attack of that. then the king has come and they will stop that particular kind of genocide. And ultimately, such a kind of case study is rare into the, we can say, the protection or the conservation of the forest. Okay, it's a, we can say, once or a while phenomenon is there in worldwide. And then after, Indian government has established award, Amruta Devi Bestow Award for the wildlife protection or wildlife conservation is. Now the second one is Chipko movement, particularly in the Himachal Gadwal area. The particular lady have protest against that particular, the contractors of that particular. In that case, what happened? They have protect that particular area of Gadwal, and ultimately the environment, it is happened in 1974, right? Chipko movement is happened in 1974. Okay, they have bravely protected them, and the particularly the axis of the contractor, and the people over the world, they have acclaimed a Chipko movement. And ultimately last, the Joint Forest Management, JFM, is introduced by in 1980s by the government of India. Now in the Joint Forest Management, they have done what? Generally what happened, most of the peoples which live nearby the forest area, they depends for the fruits as well as gum and medicines, etc., woods on the forest. So ultimately the rules and regulation of the forest is there. એટલે પછી ગવર્મેન્ટે શું કર્યું કે એના જે નિયર બાય જે નકામી લેન્ડ હોય બરાબર, એ લેન્ડ ઉપર એણે પોતે એગ્રો કરવાના અને એનું જે કંઈ પ્રોડક્શન છે એની બધી જ જે કહેવાય કે રાઇટ્સ છે એ બધા પીપલ્સને આવે કે જેણે એને ગ્રો કર્યા છે. અને અલ્ટિમેટલી વોટ હેપન, they will not use the forest product, but whatever the product they have grow in the, we can say, wasteland of that nearby area, they can use. That is the joint forest management. એટલે એમાં લેન્ડની જે કહેવાય કે ઓનરશિપ છે ગવર્મેન્ટની હોય, but whatever the product they have grow, that can be utilized. Okay, so we can say in the sustainable manner we can conserve the particular area. તો અહીં આપણું ચેપ્ટર નંબર 16 છે એ કમ્પ્લીટ થાય છે. નાઉ ઇન નેક્સ્ટ લેક્ચર આપણે એક ક્વિક રિવિઝન તો કરશું જ, બરાબર, 16 ચેપ્ટરનું, બટ દેન આફ્ટર ચેપ્ટર નંબર 1 થી આગળ આપણો સિલેબસ છે એને વધારશું. ઓકે, અહીં સુધી રાખીએ છીએ.